Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Practical Bitachon in 2023. Again, Bitachon is trust in God. Again, I'm really excited to be able to do this. Again, this is really work for each and every one of us, and especially for myself. And the class, 10 minutes of Shaar Habitachon, Gate of Trust. Usually we have 5 minutes from letters from the Rebbe. I'm actually doing it from inside the Shaar Habitachon today. We're going to have it a little bit different. And today's class is dedicated in honor of all the Lone Soldier veterans at the Nevut Winter Shabbaton, and I'm going to explain the reason why in a second. This past week, we had the Shabbaton. Every year we have a Shabbaton, and, I was ready to be able to get this, planned way ahead of time. I wanted to be, organized in a timely fashion, and just the place that we were trying to find was not working out. And what happened was we finally found the place 2 weeks before the event, and we were excited. We brought our things up there, and we brought it up on Tuesday. Wednesday night, the night before, people already drove in from Florida. People were getting ready to come in. I get a call from the place that we were supposed to be at that they're having issues with the health department and building department, and they're getting shut down. And right when that happened, they said, you got to go find another place. And I'm thinking, my stuff are already there. The person and someone said, why don't you cancel it? And I said, we can't. We have all this food here. And I was just thinking for myself, wait, obviously this happens for a reason. I don't know why it's happening, why Hashem's doing it. But I really tried working on my bitachon. It didn't mean that I wasn't worried. Again, I'm a human being. I was worried inside, but I really tried to be able to be calm about it and work on myself. And the next morning, again, we were still trying to find, and people were already asking, okay, I'm heading out. They didn't even know yet that we still didn't have a place. I'm working on some options. And finally, the last minute at 3 o'clock, we finally found a place. And we told everyone that we're gonna have to switch locations. And we found a place, and even then we had issues where there wasn't heating, and it was like, wait, what's going on over here? And they moved us to another location in the new place where we were. Then there was a blackout in the middle. But every single time that this happened, I was very much trying to work on myself. And again, I was antsy. I was really antsy. But I was also trying to work on myself, remembering, wait, everything Hashem does, there's a reason for it, to work on my bitachon and know that there's going to be the most positive outcome. And I was talking to myself yesterday about this and going over, and I said, you know what it's like? Someone that plays baseball. I love playing baseball. So one of the analogies I would like to use is someone hits the ball, and as long as they hustle down the line as fast as they could, if they get out, you know what? You're good. You tried your best. You tried. And you know what? You still get rewarded for that. But if there was a player that hit the ball and was lazy, he could hit the ball as far as he wants. But if he's lazy about it, he doesn't show that interest, it's a whole different ball game. He's not someone that's like, wow, this guy is amazing and all that. No, he has a lack of a certain type of attitude towards it. And I was like, this is something that, you know what, Hashem, I tried. I really, really tried to be able to do my best. I know I struggle, and that's part of why I'm doing this. Why I'm doing Shaar Habitachon is because when there's times like these, I try my best, and I try to remind myself and work on it. And for that, you know what? Hashem's proud of all of us, and he still gives us a great reward and helps us. And even though we're not the best out there, and we don't have the perfect tranquility, and this is why we're learning this. So this is just something that I wanted to bring up for all of us to take. When we go through a struggle, don't feel bad either. Hey, my bitachon's not strong enough, and why am I? No, you're trying. That's the reason why we're all here. So that's why I wanted to dedicate this to everyone for being an amazing sport, making the Shabbaton happen and being part of it. And it was an incredible success, Baruch Hashem, at the end of the day. So here we are. We're going to jump we were talking about what are the material benefits of bitachon. There's spiritual ones. Now here's the material ones. Among the material benefits is that a person instills that bitachon instills in a person a peace of mind and body that comes from not needing to perform difficult work, nor engaging in occupations that tire the body. He will also be at peace due to the ability to abandon the service of kings and their laws, and to avoid the corruption of their servants. Now, what does this mean? It's pretty simple. Sometimes when you're going to work think of it back in the days, the king, they had all these crazy laws. There was just, you're working for the king, whatever he says, that's what you're doing. And it to destroy the body, would drain the body. And even nowadays, there's jobs out there that you take on and you're like, I need the money, so I have to go do this. And those jobs could really be, first of all, with horrible people that are horrible bosses. They're just there, and they're not there for your good, and it tires the body, destroys the body. And then they have the laws that aren't governed in the way for you, that are good for you. And those things really stress you out and really affect a person. But someone that has bitachon says, no, I'm not going to take a job like that, even though there's money right now on the table. But if it's going to detract from my health and everything else, I know Hashem's going to take care of me. As it says, we're going to go to the next part. You see, some material benefits of bitachon no need to perform difficult work, nor engage in occupations that tire the body. Again, very nice. The guy, he's working for a professional. He's working for the king. It sounds all nice and beautiful, but he's really getting some grueling work on his plate and for his body, and it destroys him. Okay. But a person who trusts in God chooses those means of sustenance for himself that entail greater rest of his body, give him a good name, and leave his heart free from worry. If you trust in Hashem, you're going to get the sustenance. You're going to be able to find your parnasah in a place where it's not going to destroy you. It's going to be good for your body. He also chooses those occupations that are more helpful for his Torah observances. And one of the most important things that we talk about is that, a person, first of all, has to obviously ask Hashem. You have to ask Hashem to help you. And that, Hashem provides wealth and, makes someone poor. And no person out there, doesn't make a difference who they are, is going to get 1 penny more than what he's supposed to get. You could try, so our job is to make sure we're asking Hashem to be able to judge us in a way, to be able to make sure that we have something that's good for us and good for what we need. And all of this, I'm going back in here, all this is due to his strong belief that the means of sustenance will not add to his amount of sustenance, nor will it cause him to lack anything. His amount of sustenance will only be increased or decreased by the decree of God, may he be blessed. This is important to remember, that everything that he has is what Hashem decreed for him. So if this being the case, he feels no need to choose a stressful occupation. Instead, he chooses an occupation that involves little stress and is conducive to his observance of mitzvahs. Stop for a second and think about that. How many times we have an opportunity for a job that could really be harmful to us and could take away from not only our physical, but also our spiritual health. And if we remember that Hashem is the one that guides us and takes care of us, and he's the one that sustains us, then it becomes so clear to us we're only going to do things that are good for us. And I can't tell you how many times it happens that we have someone's like, I don't know how I'm going to be able to afford something. I don't know how I'm going to do this. And the money comes in miraculous ways. And not because of all of a sudden right now they started doing something illegal, or they started doing something against what is good for their family and said, okay, you know what, I got to leave. And I'm gonna forget the important things. No, they take care of their family. They take care of their Torah learning. They take care of being connected to Hashem, not going to do things and not doing things that are against the Torah laws, which is an important thing. You're not going to go right now and rob a bank and say, okay, because I need $1,000 right now, I'm going to go rob. That's not what we do. We know Hashem's going to take care of us. How is it going to come? You know what? Every single time it's different. And that's part of our bitachon that we have. We work on that every day. So the author will now cite a verse. So I'm going to just say this again. This being the case, he feels no need to choose a stressful occupation. Instead, he chooses an occupation that involves little stress and is conducive to his observance of mitzvot. The author will now cite a verse as proof that a person who does not become wealthy through traveling, rather, it is God who causes people to be rich or poor. As it says in the Pasuk, in Tehillim, For it is not from the east or from the west, meaning a person traveling, nor from the desert, that elevation comes. Because Hashem judges, right? Hashem's the one that makes the decision. He humbles this one and he elevates that one. There's no way to know who's going to be, oh, this guy's going to be a millionaire, this guy's going to be a, you just got to do your work. You do your shtadlut. You make the keli, you make the vessel for it. But know that all of it comes from Hashem. As it says, he causes me to lie down in green pasture. He leads me beside still waters. We say that on Shabbat many times. And it's really, Hashem really, really takes care of us. And trust in Hashem will lead you to a restful and worry-free occupation and a good reputation. Stop for a second and recognize this. Trust in Hashem. Take the time, be able to think about it for a sec. And He's going to take care of us with a job that's restful, as worry-free occupation, and it's going to leave you with a good reputation. Now, it doesn't mean, I'm just saying this one more time, it doesn't mean that you're going to say, okay, I'm going to sit back and twiddle my thumbs and not do anything. No. That's not what we're saying over here. It doesn't, a restful and worry-free occupation means something that's good for your body, something that you can handle. Right now, if someone's good at being, someone that's good working with his hands, for him to sit in the office, that's not being restful. That's actually being the opposite of it. The other hand, there's someone that is good at being in the office, for him to start being in the field, getting all, down and dirty for himself, that's not the way to be. So, trust in Hashem, and He's going to lead you to the restful and worry-free occupation and a good reputation. I'm just going to do this. Okay. No distress. Among the material benefits is that a person who has bitachon will have less anguish in business. If, for example, he cannot sell his merchandise, or if he is not able to collect the debt that is owed to him, or if he becomes physically ill. Naturally, a person would become upset or even angry if any of these things happen. Nevertheless, a person who has bitachon will not let these things upset him. And I think it's such a high level to be on, because he knows that the Creator may be blessed, repairs his matters better than he can, and chooses what is good for him better than what he would choose for himself. As it says, only to Hashem should you hope, my soul, for my hope is from Him. Guys, trust in Hashem. I'm telling you, it's going to work out. I'm saying this to myself, not to anyone else. Hashem knows what is best for a person, and as such, a person's hope should be placed only in God. I just want to read for today's letter. I'm just going to go down here on the left side to the second paragraph. This is with regard to, helpfulness Torah obligation, which we said before, was something interesting. There was certain occupations, example, farmers or locations of small villages do not allow for a person to pray consistently with a minyan, which is a quorum of 10 men, which you do for morning tefillah, afternoon and evening. While other occupations, example, tanners, do not allow for a person to play in a clean shirt, which is a halachic requirement. The man of faith will choose occupation and place that allow him to fulfill all halachic requirements, which is interesting. Do something. If you have faith in Hashem, He's going to do something that's going to be perfect for you. So here's the letter which the Lubavitcher Rebbe writes in response to your question: if you should return to a city that has no minyan for work. A person found a city that had no minyan in it, so it wasn't inhabited by a Jewish population. And he was working there, and the Rebbe said, should he go or should he not go? And so the beginning part of the letter, this is what I heard, it was saying the Rebbe was giving all different reasons of how you could go, how it's possible to, being empathetic with the person, how there's ways to make it work for a parnasa. And then at the end of the letter, the Rebbe writes these words: I write all the above because I do not know the degree of your bitachon, of your trust in God. However, fascinating, if you are strong in this respect with simple faith, and you know that just a vessel, and you just seek a vessel for livelihood, again, you just seek a vessel, God will grant you your livelihood in a place where there is a minyan, etc., where there is Jewish life, where it's good for you, and you will be able to carry out all your obligations. Fascinating. The Rebbe cares about a person, he understands, he's empathetic, he goes with them, and then after he says, but remember, I don't know your level of bitachon, but if you have bitachon, know that just making the vessel, God will take care of you, because this will give you the place that you could be in a Jewish area where where there is Jewish life, where it's good for your children, for your family. Wow, have a wonderful day, everyone.